Hello everyone. I hope each of you is safe and doing well during these crazy times of change and unknowns. It is during difficult times such as these that we need to stay in communication with each other and support each other. As we all know, all U.S. Highland dance competitions have been canceled since the middle of March. In the U.S., current public health conditions do not allow competitions to occur yet. However, we need to plan for the day when they will be allowed. As we begin to discuss and create the plan for coming together at competitions and workshops again, please remember that we need to work together to ensure the safety and fair treatment of all dancers. I try to think of the silver linings I'm experiencing every day as a method to stay positive during these stressful times. Teachers, dancers, and dance families should do the same. Look for the silver linings. Dancers, please look at this current time at home as a gift, a time to focus on dance technique, basic movements, and steps that we normally aren't able to focus on because we are busy preparing for and going to competitions. Teachers, this is the time for us to be creative, to expand our horizons, and to try different teaching methods and activities to keep our dancers engaged. As we start to create the plan for us to resume competitions, we should remember that at the May 2020 board meeting, the RSOBHD recommended that all events be canceled up to the end of September 2020. The RSOBHD also stated they will reassess this situation prior to the September board meeting and make a recommendation regarding events due to be held in the last quarter of the year. One of the many issues to review in creating our plan to return to competition is how PrePremier dancer registration extensions will be handled, since dancers all over the world have not been allowed to compete. The current rule for PrePremiers, beginners, novices, and intermediates, from page 26 of the Constitution and Rules is: the current PrePremier status is held until the competitor either A, gains a first, second, or third prize in six separate competitions, or B, 12 months following earning of the first stamp have elapsed, whichever A or B takes longer. I had a meeting with the RSOBHD on July 3rd. During this meeting, the RSOBHD outlined the procedure all affiliate bodies, including Australia, Canada, New Zealand, South Africa, the US, and the UK, will need to follow as each country returns to competition. First of all, the ScotDance USA Board of Directors needs to decide how it is going to monitor the procedure to return to competition and to assign PrePremier dancer registration extensions. Possible options for the U.S. are nationally, regionally, or by state. Once the ScotDance USA Board of Directors decides how to proceed, we need to communicate our plan to the RSOBHD. We must ensure that the plan we create focuses on the safety of the dancers and all members of our dance community and allows us to accurately monitor the PrePremier dancer registration process. We should also consider that if one part of the U.S. opens before the rest of the country, and there are competitions in a limited part of the country, it may promote inequalities in our Highland dance world. Only allowing competitions in specific parts of the country because public health regulations allow will further separate those dance families who have the means to travel versus those who do not. Here is the procedure a competition organizer needs to follow to schedule a competition once that area of the U.S. is ready to open for competitions. 1. A competition organizer needs to send an application to hold a competition to the ScotDance USA Vice President. 2. The Vice President then informs the ScotDance USA Board of Directors. 3. The ScotDance USA Board of Directors reviews the application. 4. If approved, the ScotDance USA Secretary forwards the application to the RSOBHD. 5. The RSOBHD contacts the Registration Committee, who reviews the application. 6. If the application is approved, the RSOBHD calculates and sends back the time extension for the beginner, novice, and intermediate dancers who are affected. The dancers who are affected are based on how ScotDance USA decides to monitor PrePremier dancer registration extensions, nationally, regionally, or by state. 7. All ScotDance USA dancers, including primaries and premiers, who are affected by the upcoming approved competition and who live in the affected area, must send their registration cards to the regional registrar who handles the dancers' registrations. 8. The regional registrar adds a new sticker to the back of the registration card. The registrar signs and dates all cards, including those for primary and premier dancers. The registrar calculates and adds the approved registration extension dates to the PrePremier cards. The registrar mails the cards back to the dancers. 9. At the competition organizer must check all dancer registrations cards. All registration cards must have the new sticker on the back. If there is no sticker, the dancer may not compete. Please note, dancers must present an updated registration card to compete. If no card is presented, the dancer may not compete. Also note that this entire procedure to update the cards may take up to 4 to 6 weeks. Competition organizers need to allow this amount of time to complete this procedure. Let's go through an example. It may be helpful to understand the details that we must follow for a competition to take place once all restrictions are cleared. Here's the example. 1. Let's assume ScotDance USA is going to follow a regional plan to move forward. 2. Suppose there is a competition in the West. Let's say a fictional dance competition in San Francisco that wants to run their competition the first weekend of October. The competition organizer needs to apply to the ScotDance USA Board of Directors to hold the competition. 3. If the ScotDance USA Board of Directors agrees it's a good idea to move forward with the San Francisco competition, we would forward this application to the RSOBHD. 4. The RSOBHD checks in with the registration committee, and if they approve the application, the RSOBHD sends back to ScotDance USA the time extension that should be applied to the PrePremier cards. Please note, we would tell the RSOBHD when we send in the San Francisco competition application that the last competition held in the U.S. was March 7th in North Carolina. The RSOBHD would come back with a 7-month extension, the approximate time between March 1st to October 1st, and that is the extension that would be applied to the West Region PrePremier cards. 5. In the meantime, the West Region Registrar must collect all current West Region cards. She will add the new sticker, sign and date all the cards, including the primary and premier cards, calculate the registration date extension for all pre-premiers, write the extension date on the cards, and return all the cards to the dancers. 6. Any West Region dancer may compete at the San Francisco competition provided they present their updated card and they live in the West Region. If a dancer is registered with the West Region but is residing outside the West Region, they may not travel to the West Region to compete until the region where they reside is cleared for competitions. No dancer from any other region may compete. They have not been cleared to compete and they do not have an updated card. If they show up, they won't be allowed to compete. 7. Continuing with this example, if another fictional competition in Houston, Texas wants to run a competition the second weekend of October, that competition organizer needs to follow the same procedure as the San Francisco competition organizer did, but for the Southwest region. The Houston competition organizer needs to apply and receive approval from the ScotDance USA and RSOBHD. The RSOBHD calculates a different extension date for the Southwest. The Southwest Regional Registrar must collect all dancer cards, add the stickers and registration extension dates, sign and date the cards, and mail them back to the dancers. Then any Southwest or West Region dancer can compete at Houston, provided they present their updated dance card and they reside in either the West or Southwest region. Dancers from any other region would not be allowed to compete because their regions have not opened. Thank you for sticking with me to the end. This is a lot of information to take on, and I expect several of you to have questions. Please forward your questions to Ann Donlin, Vice President of ScotDance USA, or Fred DeMars, President of ScotDance USA. One of us will get back to you with a response. Please remember that we need to work together to ensure the safety and fair treatment of all dancers. Please consider this downtime as an opportunity to take a break from competing and reflect on why you love to dance, what you want to get out of your dancing, and to reevaluate your dance goals. The time spent now on these basics will make it possible for you to come back next year stronger than ever. We want everyone to dance Highland Strong.